We are live with World Team League. We still have the Sparkling Tuna Cup ongoing over there at the CranKy Ducklings, so we will still go on with the show. And we have an exciting series to start us off. It is going to be Starlight Twinkle versus Dragon Kaizi Gaming. So we can already see the head-to-head of some of the top players from each team. We've got Cham, we've got Hero, and they will not be facing each other, but they will be players to look out for as we do have these lineups here. And ooh, okay, this is actually my first time seeing these lineups as well, and I'm very excited for this first game. This is a banger of a ZVT. We have Cham versus Oliveira. Oliveira, of course, he is the world champion, but he still bleeds, and we have Cham, a player who has been causing a lot of upsets, especially in the World Team League. Cham is a player that does tend to, perform a little bit better than expected at times in the World Team League. But here we go. We do have Oliveira as well, getting the nod from the SC boy raters, I guess we would call them. Nods in offense, not in micro as well. And we'll be kicking things off on Neo Humanity. This is fascinating to me because Neo Humanity, this screams Cham map to me, because the way that Cham plays already fits this so well. But here he is, spawning in the top left-hand corner for Starlight Twinkle. This is Cham. And in the bottom right-hand corner of the map for DKZ Gaming, this is Oliveira. Alrighty. Now, what I was saying was, this map, already for Zerg, a lot of the time we're seeing Zerg players go for very early roaches and using it to stabilize themselves into late game. That's something that Cham does naturally. That's how he likes to play. He goes for early roach warrens, doesn't necessarily rush with them, just likes to play into a very heavy Bane Ravager style and use that to get himself into the later game, use his incredible army positioning as well to try to overrun his opponent, especially if they go for early pushes. And this is such a perfect map for that. But Oliveira, he's going to be aware of that too, and he might want to play for a late game himself. We have seen a lot of success for Terrans in particular in just camping it up on this map and trying to get things to go on a little bit later. But as it stands, nothing too crazy. We are going to be seeing a hatch first coming out from Cham, and very standard opener coming out from Oliveira as well. He will be skipping out on the scout, but this is relatively safe to do in TVZ. He'll be able to scout later on with his Reaper. As Rufus joins me. Hello, Rufus. All right. Yeah, and Oliveira has been an interesting one to look at because, of course, he is the world champion. He is capable of some incredible performances, but he's not always looking like even a top tier player. He's definitely at that top level, but when it comes to playing like a Serral or a Maru or a Hero or a Reynor, he's not always capable of performing at that level. So I'm always interested to see where he's at. But here we go. The Reaper is going to pop in, gets that first scout, so he can make that reactor now that he sees it's safe. It's just a hatch first. And I think we're going to be seeing him play a 3cc style. Yeah, there we go. Third CC goes down. So pretty standard stuff coming out from Oliveira here. I kind of wonder as well if he knows that Cham plays this roach heavy style. Because Cham does it almost every game. He'll throw down a roach warren. I think it's around 5 minutes that he throws it down, or maybe 4:30. He just goes into melee upgrades. He plays Ling, Bane, Roach Ravager. It's a very robust style. It's pretty hard to get anything done as a Terran in the early game. Ooh, this is cheeky. We do see him blocking off the exit with the Lings. Nice. That is, it's actually a one building wall off, so there's not much area that the Reaper can get down. And Oliveira maybe being a little bit greedy jumping in, and he doesn't get punished for it, but it's important to him that he gets the scout because Cham's play can look a little bit weird at first. I think his third is a little bit delayed too. Alright, but apart from that, just standard stuff coming out. We don't see an early tech lab from Oliveira, so it's pretty likely that he's going to be going into Viking Lib or BC or something like that. And there we go. We do see a Liberator opener, so this is something that Clem's been playing around with a lot. Just a single Liberator and then going into a fast double drop. And I'm always unsurprised to see Oliveira and Clem playing similar openings. I think of them as very similar players. They both rely heavily on their speed and their mechanics, but without playing anything too gimmicky, I guess is the word. Like, they both play very macro styles where they're just using their speed, not necessarily even to kill their opponent, but just to get ahead. And because they can macro while they're causing all this chaos and their opponent might be slipped up, that's how they get ahead usually. So yeah, that Liberator is going to be finishing up. Straight away see some add-ons going down, so Oliveira is going to have a much earlier double drop than we usually see. But meanwhile, on the side of Cham, as advertised, there we go, we do see that Roach Warren going down, and it's not really for a rush most of the time. He does use it just to be safe, and it should keep him very safe, especially against this kind of double drop player. But I do have to point out as well, it does mean he's lacking a little bit in mobility, and if Oliveira doesn't go for a committed tank push and instead just focuses on a double drop, this could be a little bit difficult to deal with. Meanwhile, the Liberator is sieging up. Cham doesn't see it. He's so distracted by how active these Hellions are being, so he is going to be losing a few of these drones, and he loses a bit of time as well because he doesn't move that spore preemptively. Oliveira, he's just being so aggressive with these Hellions, and this is what I was talking about. He's such a fast player, and if you can't keep up with him, you're just going to fall behind in increments. Yeah, meanwhile, we do just see his Queens poking on through that slow zone. This becomes a pretty important area as the game goes on, and one of the players usually going to be breaking down the rocks in the middle so that they have a fast attack path. But also, we can see people playing around with the destructible rocks that go over this slow zone. You can get units caught in there, so it's pretty funny. I actually recently saw someone was purposely putting their tank in between the broken rocks there just to have it completely cut off from everything. Actually such a nasty spot, but yeah, meanwhile we just see Oliveira calmly macroing up, is going to be going into his 1-1, getting that double drop out nice and early as well, so that should be a good 20 seconds earlier than we normally see from a 3cc player. And meanwhile for Cham we see 1-1, he does go for range, so it is possible that he could go for a 1-1 roach roll in. We don't see it super often, I don't see it that often from Cham, but does look like he's gearing up for it. There is a potential at this level just because these guys are playing on such a knife's edge where even losing a few drones in the early game might be reason enough to go for an all-in. Okay, the Liberator goes down. The roaches have been revealed, and yeah, Oliveira in fact was going for a committed tank push, and wow, this is such an impressive timing from him. He's hitting so early, and I mean Cham, he's got a lot of roaches. He's definitely prepared for this. He's morphing in Ravages as well, so Oliveira, he's going to respect this. He's going to back off, probably commit only with the drop, and yeah, there we go. We see him splitting the tanks away and just using the double drop, so this is a much less committed attack. Huh. And he's just going to go straight up into his 4 CCs, so yeah, Oliveira, he's happy to play defense here. And I think he is identifying the situation very well because Cham, he's on 63 drones and he is not making another drone. He is just pumping at roaches. It looks like he is intending to just go for this 1-1 roach all in, and this can hit really hard. So Oliveira has to make sure that he's not losing medevacs, he's not losing marines. He has to be very careful with his units here. And oh, he almost loses that medevac. He's got to be careful here. There's a fine line between keeping the pressure on and getting little bits of damage here and there and preserving your units. And it's most important here that he preserves his units because this push, it should be hitting just about now. It's actually a little bit late from Cham. I think he's been set back somewhat by what Oliveira has been doing so far. And once again, we see that glitch with the rocks. They're half health. I don't know why this happens. There's something a little bit wrong with this map at the moment. Sometimes these rocks, when they fall, they are instantly at half health. I don't really know why that's happening. But there we go, Cham. He's maxed out. Where's the push? All right, the push is moving out. He does have a massive surround. Oliveira, he is well set up for this with the tanks, but this can still absolutely break through. We can see there is medevacs across the map, so he doesn't have healing for this bio, and every single tank is going down. He brings back for a surround, and he's going to be taking down a lot of the Ravagers. Wow, he's surrounding from every angle. The surround from Cham gets surrounded by Oliveira. That is beautiful stuff from the Chinese Terran. Oh my goodness, what a fight. I thought he was in real trouble, but he had him exactly where he wanted him. Just like that, Oliveira, he is just in a wonderful spot now. The tanks are going to continue to keep him safe at home, and he can start pressing forward with this bio. He can do stuff like this, take out the queens. He can force out more roaches from Cham as well. Cham doesn't really want to be making another roach max out. It's a pretty poor quality army. You can see already he's going up into melee upgrades. He's getting his Bane nest as well. He would like to go into a more of a Ling Bane based army, because once 2-2 kicks in for Oliveira, he can basically just A-move over pure roach. Cham really needs to get some Banelings going, and I don't think Oliveira is going to afford him that time. This has been an incredibly clean game. It's going to be altitude, and here he is spawning in the top right-hand corner. Meanwhile, in the bottom left-hand corner of the map for CranKy Gaming, up 1-0 in this series. This is the Chinese Terran Oliveira. Yeah, this is a pretty interesting map to go for. The last time I saw Oliveira play this map, he actually played a battle mech style. So he is willing to adapt to the size of the map. This time around, okay, I thought he might have been going for a CC first, but no, he's going to be playing just a standard opener. So I'm inclined to think he will probably play battle mech again. But Cham has a lot of weird stuff that he goes for on this map. His normal style of Bane Ravager is quite good on this map too. But this is a map where you can make use of some more mobility-based plays. Things like Niduses, things like Mutas can be very effective. Not many people playing Mutas in ZVT at the moment, but Cham's always beat to the sound of his own drum, so I wouldn't be shocked to see him break out Mutas here. I do think if Oliveira plays mech, it's less likely to happen just because Cyclones are a lot better versus Mutas these days. Yeah, it's going to be a standard hatch first play coming out from Cham. Oliveira once again. Not once again. This time going to be going for the SCV scout. Doesn't want to get caught out with anything weird. Cham's not really one to do things so weird though. It's funny because as much as he does mix up his play in the mid game quite a lot, I do think he's pretty consistent with how he opens early game. He's not usually cheesy. He's not usually doing anything other than just going for this early Roach Warren, and sometimes he goes into different paths from there, whether it be Muta, 1-1 Roach all in, or just that Ling Bane Roach Ravager style that he was slowly transitioning to in that last game. But as for early game stuff, I don't really see him cheese that often. I think he prefers to just have a stable early game. As Oliveira is going to be rocking up with this first Reaper. It does, of course, take this Reaper a long time to get across the map, so it's not going to be able to get too much done. And the Reaper spots an inject first. That's a little bit unusual. Doesn't have to mean anything, but just pointing out again that Cham does do things a little bit differently, and that's probably why Oliveira sacked his Reaper into the main in that last game to get the scout. Just because that inject can sometimes mean a fast Roach build. Dark does have builds where he does go for a 9 Roach, but he makes it look like a normal build by going for a 3rd hatch at a normal time. I'm sure Oliveira's aware of that. He plays a lot on the Korean ladder, so he probably plays against Dark a fair bit. And he would have these builds in mind, but Cham has shown that he just does things a little different, but yeah, once again, Oliveira, he is placing importance on the scouting. Cham's going to be denying that. I think that's a great player. Especially if you're a player that does go for Roach all-ins every now and then. If you always deny the scout into the main, it's not a tell anymore. Whereas for other players, sometimes that's a tell. Alright, Oliveira mixing things up. Going to be going for a Viking this time rather than a Liberator. So he can clear out the Overlord vision that's around his base. And after he's done that, he could go into something like a BC. He could just go into a Raven, into a Banshee, anything like that. The main thing that the Viking does is it just keeps the Zerg player in the dark. Meanwhile for Cham, nothing too crazy going on. He delayed his Ling speed by quite a bit, just because it's a bigger map. I think this makes a lot of sense. You can go for a very late Ling speed and you're less likely to be punished. As Oliveira, just going for a very standard Viking Liberator player. So this is one of the most standard builds you can go for, this alongside the 3cc Banshee. And it shows a lot of confidence out of Oliveira. Even on a big map like this, he's not doing anything weird. He's just playing his standard game, and he feels very confident in that. But Cham, he hasn't turned down a Roach Warren yet, which is unusual for him. He's actually gone into a Bane's Nest and a faster layer, so I actually do think we could be seeing mutas out of him in this game. At the very least, Ling Bane this time. No Roaches. I guess Oliveira, he's just a little bit too clean with his macro. It's a bit of a scary prospect going for a Roach-based build because Oliveira doesn't really slip with his macro, and a very clean buy and terror macro player, it's kind of hard to get too much done with Roaches. Roaches just, they aren't the most amazing unit in this matchup. They kind of play more as a meta game where they can punish someone for playing mines instead of tanks. There's yeah, nothing too weird coming out from Oliveira. He's just going to play a very standard game, and Cham is happy to oblige him. See Bane Nest double Evo as well, so this is actually just completely standard play coming out from Cham. Showing a lot of respect to his opponent, but oh, this Liberator is getting so much damage. 5 drones, 6 drones. That is not supposed to happen. Cham is very distracted by these Hellions here, and the Hellions, honestly, they do pose a big threat. There are 8 of them this time, not just 6, so Oliveira being so active with them is probably making Cham a little bit afraid that he's going to get dived on. We even see, wow, the attention to detail from Oliveira. Target fires the drone over the Queen. This Liberator is going to go down, but Oliveira got a lot done with that. Alright, Viking going to be sharking around here. He's going to be shooting away some of those Overlords. And Oliveira, he's just a normal man. He just plays normal builds. He does his best. Like any normal man can. I was watching the Big Gabe stream yesterday, and he said Terran must be in a good spot at the moment because the world champion, he's just a normal man. Gotta agree. Despite Terran being in a pretty good spot right now, this is a tough map. This is always going to be a tough map, and Oliveira, he's adapting to that. He's not going to be going for a tank playstyle once again. He needs to go for something a little bit more mobile, something that can just kind of trade constantly with the Zerg player, doesn't have to commit so hard to a push and leave himself exposed back at home. He's going to be going for Biomine. I think that makes a lot of sense. Pretty much the main way that we see Terrans playing on this map, and there we go, we do just see him getting those mine shots, just going to be taking the best value trades that he can. As long as those mines are landing and is picking up, saving all his bio, he's going to be taking some very good trades. There we go, we see the second prong set up on the left-hand side of the map, and Cham, he's a very capable player. Even with Ling Bane, which is not his usual style, he's able to do great things. He's just been going from strength to strength lately. And I love this, just meeting the army of Oliveira out on the map, but beautiful micro from Oliveira. He's going to be taking out every Baneling. Oliveira, he's such a fast player. He can keep up with this sort of pace that Cham's trying to set. Cham was trying to overwhelm him by jumping on the army that was a little bit off creep and maybe not quite ready to go in. And oh, this medevac just crawling out of there. It does survive. And Oliveira, he is happy to meet this pressure head on. He says, if you wanna try to catch me off creep, catch me not looking, try to outpace me, I am happy to play that kind of game. Oliveira loves that kind of game. This is exactly what he's looking for when he plays Biomine. It's very similar to what we see with Clem. I mean, these two players are so, Clem and Oliveira, they're so similar in my eye. But Cham, he wants to bring it. He wants to try to keep up with the world champ, and so far he hasn't quite been able to do so. Oliveira just setting a brutal pace. And Cham, he's having trouble dealing with these mines. He's having trouble getting his creep spread out. He's really just having trouble keeping Oliveira off his back, but here we go. We do see a bit of a run by a beautiful Ling split. The Ling does go down, but that was some really nice micro from Cham. Splitting off a single Ling. And these Banes are going to get some big connections now. And suddenly the momentum is starting to swing in Cham's favor. Oliveira is brought back home. And these Banelings, they are threatening him. The third base has to be given up, and man, this was looking incredible for Oliveira, but all of a sudden, this is just something that happens on this map sometimes. The pendulum swings. Oliveira himself getting some good damage, but he is getting overrun back at home. The SCV is forced to run for their lives, and the production is getting overrun as well. I mean, Oliveira was playing this so well, but this is just something that can happen sometimes on this map. You have to be prepared for these big run-bys that can go unseen just because there's so many paths. And man, just like that, 37 SCVs going down. I don't even really know what went wrong here. Warning pool is going to go down, so that's a nice pick off for Oliveira, but there are Banelings in his base. And there are so many Lings. I just don't think there's enough here to clean this up for Oliveira. He might eventually get this cleaned up, and wow, actually Oliveira, he's done so much damage back at home as well to Cham, and despite everything that's happened here, I think we have an even-ish game. Cham is just not able to spend his money because so many queens have gone down, because the pool was destroyed, hatches were destroyed as well. He just can't spend his lava. He is desperately trying to get the extra pool, the extra hatch as well, but we can see, looks like he only had the 9 lava at that point. And wow, I think Oliveira's actually done it, despite losing all those SCVs. What a crazy game, but Oliveira, it looks like he's stabilizing. He does have his Choo-Choo upgrades as well. There is just no way with the economic state of Cham that he's going to be able to get his 1-1 going. He really needs to get the injects going. He needs to get extra queens, extra hatches, anything that he can. He's just really struggling to get back on top of things. And understandably so. There we go. The next few Banes are coming out. Oliveira going to be continuing to push forward, and Banes are just, mines, Widow mines. They're just terrifying in these kind of low eco situations. If just one mine lands on a good amount of Banelings here, that could be the end of things. But great micro from Cham. Uses the Lings to bait out the mine shots. So he will be safe. And suddenly we see a game where Oliveira is really far ahead. He just got the better of this somehow. He did not flinch. Despite losing so much back at home, he continued to counterattack. He knew that if he came back home, then that damage would be permanent. But if he could get counter damage, he could even the score. Oh, we are going to be seeing some drones going down. The hatch going to be going down as well. Nice splits from Oliveira. And Cham does split up his army very effectively, but this right-hand side, he just doesn't get the job done. Oliveira getting up to 150 supply. He is just flawless with the macro. His micro, his multitask, not losing a single unit here. Barely anything. As we do see Cham is doing a great job splitting his army, but it's not really enough right now. We are just seeing Cham on his death throws, and oh, Oliveira, he's just showing off now. Look at those splits on a creep. My goodness, the micro of Oliveira, the multitask. He is not letting Cham breathe. 3 bases, he does not care. He is all over him. Cham starting to stay. Oh, sorry guys, we just had a brief disconnection there. I'm back. Oh, and the Lings are running in on top of the SCVs. Once again, Cham trying to get the counter damage. Oh, look at what is happening back at home. The splits once again. Oliveira. Marine split challenge all on your face. And there are just 4 Banelings left. Meanwhile, Microwave back at home does clean up the rest of it, and it looks like that will be it. GG. Oliveira takes the 2-0.
GG, well played. What a... I guess I could have joined at any point, actually, but... GG, well played. Thank you so much, Asher, for covering that series, by the way. We just did wrap up over on the CranKy Ducklings. The Sparkling Tuna Cup has ended. Bobby, what did we miss?
We missed Oliveira just being a normal man, playing some normal builds, and defeating Zerg like any normal Terran can.
Yeah, sounds about right. Oh god, but yes, the stream over the CranKy Ducklings did just go down, so we can switch on over, and it's a bit of a shame. Honestly, I'm sad that I missed it. I really wanted to jump into Cham versus Oliveira. Like, it sounded like a really fun matchup.
But that last game was insane. That was like a full base trade at like 8 minutes. And then the first game, Cham went 1-1 roach all in, and Oliveira just destroyed it. It was sick.
I can imagine. I think we're just about to switch on over. And, yeah. How you been, Ash?
Yeah, it's good.
Oh, that's really sick. That's really sick. I actually really like that idea of having some replay analysis, just to break it up and just to, calm things down and like incorporate something else. It's good. It's good.
Cool. Oh, we switched over.
Yeah.
Wait, was that? There was no downtime. Amazing.
Yeah. Let's go, Puppy. Let's go. But here we go. We are back. We are live here on the CranKy Ducklings. If you wanted to tune into Oliveira versus Cham, that was covered over on Kuro's channel. For YouTube, we will be splicing and merging the VODs, and it will all be one VOD on YouTube. But if you're impatient, then the VOD will be available over on Kuro's channel, so you can check it out over there. Meanwhile, the show must go on because we're getting ready for our next matchup.
Yeah, it feels like we're in the Korean League Grand Finals because it's a PvP.
Oh, there you go. We are. Oh, I just casted a PvP.
All Protoss now.
Yeah, it's not just Korean, Bobby. It's also in Europe as well as. Yeah, we do have Hero versus Nice, which is going to be an interesting one. As much as we love to talk about PvP, and also, did they bump up Hero? I think
they did. This is a much better rating for him. I think this is accurate to where he's at right now.
100%. Some 10s, a lot of 9s as well. Hero is the best player, the best Protoss in the world for a reason, and I mean, a little bit under contention nowadays, of course. But it's really nice to see them kind of giving him some props, some deserved props. You could argue that those points should have been allocated at the beginning of the season, but 7 weeks late is better than not at all.
Yeah, I think they just judge them based on what happens during the season. But,
yeah.
I mean, Hero with this score, I think he's only...
Well, we're getting into our next setup, our next series. In the top right-hand corner for Starlight Twinkle, it is Nice.
And in the bottom left-hand corner of the map for DKZ Gaming, this is Hero.
Here we go. The cameras are on. You love to see it. And, yeah. So, game one between Chambers and Oliveira wasn't anything too special, too crazy.
The second game was pretty crazy.
Okay.
We had it was just a standard game, like Viking Lib 3cc versus Lingbane, and then Oliveira started multi-pronging, and Cham just sent everything across the map. And he killed like 40 SEVs.
Oh.
But Oliveira killed the spawning pool, he killed a whole bunch of queens, and Cham was sitting on like 1k but couldn't spend it. And Oliveira just got himself back in the game and just Marine split challenged all over him.
There you go, mate. He is the ordinary man for a reason. And we'll see if his team can live up to his reputation as well. As we're getting into this PvP once again, 2 gate openers all around. Oh, I saw nothing but this today in the finals of the Tuna Cup. It's beautiful, Party. Oh, let's go.
Yeah, of course. No ramp map. We're going to be seeing that. But these are 2 players that I don't think are going to let this game go too long. I mean, Nice does play some macro games from time to time, but I think Hero's preference is to do aggressive things from the get-go, especially proxy Stargates. I think proxy Stargate is just Hero's signature move.
Yeah, it's just, yeah.
Go on. this probe looks like it's positioned for that.
100%. I was about to say that, if we play the game, we're gonna cheat because it should be adepts. But yeah, Hero.
True.
Yeah, this is kind of his standard opener, and as we say that, there we go, double adept on the way for Hero. The Stargate should be on the way as well, promptly, with that proxy pylon, and I think we've seen Hero do this more than any other player, to be honest.
Yeah, and it's kind of weird in PvP because, to my understanding, this is actually just a pretty solid build in PvP. Whereas in other matchups, it might be a bit more of a gamble, a bit more of an aggressive thing to do. And I mean, it is on the aggressive side, but I do think this tends to be quite solid because no matter what your opponent's doing, if they're cutting corners to be aggressive, your Oracle's going to get damage.
Exactly. And on top of that, like, even if you had your Stargate opener back at home, I mean, you're not really investing too much into the Stargate anyway, right? You're getting 1, maybe 2 Oracles, and that's it. So even if that production that's out on the map gets depowered, like, it's not that big of a deal. Like, it's not really hurting you too much either, as Nice is responding with a Stargate of his own.
Yeah, Nice getting a Stargate himself is actually really helpful in this situation, especially if he knows or thinks he knows what's going on and he goes for an early Phoenix. This could completely shut this down.
Oh, it really could, as the Oracle is on the way. The Adepts have been revealed, and Nice is going to be able to chip away at them a little bit here. Has to be careful not to get pounced upon, though, as he does escape with his life. Meanwhile, it's not a Phoenix. It's an Oracle.
Yeah, okay. So I guess he hasn't quite completely pieced this together. I mean, I suppose he saw the normal amount of pylons. I'm pretty sure Hero put down an extra pylon just to help hide this.
Yeah, that would have been very smart here of Hero. As the first Oracle dives in, Shield Battery is not done. The Stalkers are on the map, and Nice even shook his head a little bit there on the camera.
Yeah, you can see why this opening's so good. That Shield Battery is perfectly timed for a Stargate at home, but not for a proxy Stargate like this. And, oh my goodness, 10 probes going down. Nice just has to go for it.
This may be over before it began, because we have plenty at home here to defend for Hero. The Stalkers of Nice are trading as best as possible, but he only has 3 of them left, and his economy, it's almost non-existent as the second Oracle dives in.
And the stasis trap, while Nice is busy microing his own Oracle, is going to catch everything.
It does catch everything. Only a single probe, not stasis, and this is game-ending damage. Nice, doing what he can with what Stalkers he has. He's got 3 Stalkers on the front line. I think he still has his Oracle in the bottom left-hand corner of the map as well. But there's only so much you can do to come back in a mirror matchup like this.
Yeah, this is some serious copium. He will be putting some damage on this base here, but Hero, he's Hero. He is just going to continue to be aggressive. He's going to continue to look for probes, despite the amount of damage he's already got. He never really lets up. This is his main gear, and it's going to work for him here, I think, as well.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Nothing too crazy here out of Hero. I mean, sure, it was a proxy, but we kind of called it from the beginning. Especially on this map on Royal Blood, it feels like this is just, his safe space, if you will.
Yeah, I feel like as well, Hero's philosophy of StarCraft is just that the best defense is a good offense, and Nice just had no opportunities to get anything done in that game.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure actually there's a little bit less finesse to it, and his mantra is just offense. It's just it's just one word, Poppy, and it works for Hero more often than not, and just like that, GG gets called and Hero does take that first game.
Yeah, I can see that. GG, so Hero taking the 1-0, and DKZ already threatening to win this matchup.
Yeah, exactly. We're already kind of in the middle. Oh, sorry, it feels like at the start of this, but regardless, Hero is 1 game away from taking the series 4-0 and winning it for DKZ. I mean, they did come in as the favorites, but Starlight Twinkle have been performing relatively well here in the WTL. They've been, taking games where they can, and I do believe that Nice has it within him to fight back against Hero.
Yeah, I think so too, and especially if he is expecting something more of that kind. I mean, second game he's picked Dragon Scales, which I think shows that he's quite confident, because it is another small map. I will say, though, it does have a natural ramp, so it might be because he's intending to play a 1-gate expand.
Oh, you know what that means? That means Hero's going to go 1 base all in.
No, I don't know what that means. Hero's going to 1 base all in? Yeah, I could definitely see that happening.
And here we go, spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Dragon Scales. We have the Taiwanese Protoss with Starlight Twinkle. Nice.
And the top left-hand corner of the map, best hero in the world. This is DKZ's hero.
He
Is
is
he the best hero in the world?
He's
Best Protoss in the world.
Well, he is also the best hero in the world as well, though, to be
Is
fair.
he? The Brood War hero is pretty good too. Depends on what we're talking about.
Brood War hero, he isn't the best Zerg in Brood War, though.
Okay.
You know, he's good.
Who's the best Zerg in Brood War? Is that Lava?
Actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, I think currently in Brood War, I think he's like top 2 Zerg.
Okay.
Actually, yeah,
Yeah.
he actually is. Yeah. Oh, good. I'm showing my age. I'm showing my age because I remember watching the Brood War Zerg hero back in like 2015, and he was just a cheeser back then. Okay.
Right.
I'm sure he's much more than that now.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's something that's interesting about Brood War. It seems you can be a bit more specialized.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's right. I haven't really watched enough to know, but I feel like you can be, because the game is less. I feel like StarCraft 2 you can play pretty close to a perfect game, but Brood War you just can't at all. So there's more specialization.
Yeah, 100%. Like the flaws in Brood War just create for more diverse play and just a wider like range of builds as well. There's beauty in it. There's definitely beauty in the Picasso of what Brood War is, in a good way, in an endearing way. As we are getting into this, and we do see Nice is setting up for that gate expand. Nexus is on the way. Hero though is going to be going for a Zealot first. It has been delayed quite a bit.
Yeah, Nice managed to get his Nexus down straight away, and every time I see something like this happen in a hero game, I'm always suspicious. I mean, this is something that you can do as a Protoss player where if the Nexus does have the opportunity to go down because it's not being blocked, you can cancel your Zealot very quickly to make sure the Nexus goes down. But I feel like hero is the crocodile that lets the bird walk around in his teeth. And then just chomps down. I feel like when he lets you do something, it's because he wants you to do it.
I can see it right now. He's the crocodile in Peter Pan. He's
the one that eats the clock?
Yeah. He's just a ticking time bomb. At any moment he's gonna go off.
He's the one that ate my hand.
God. That was thinking back on it. Like that's a pretty crazy movie. A guy gets eaten alive in that movie, and we see it as well. And it's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, I mean, the other thing is, I read Peter Pan recently, and it's like, I think it's called realism, the story, or like magic realism, where it's supernatural things told in a story as if it's just normal.
Okay.
So you discover it as it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very weird because basically there's the whole thing of like the kids just
Missing
kind
kids.
of leave and go off to this thing
Yeah.
until they stop believing, but it's not a dream or anything. Like it actually happens in the story. It's just very weird.
Yeah. It's a little bit can be a little bit eerie if you think about it a little bit too much, which is nice. You know, there's layers, Pipey. There's layers. You know, was the author talking about missing kids being abducted or something crazy like that by these crazy pirates? I don't know, maybe. But we are getting into this game. We were talking about the aggression from Hero, and that is what we are seeing right now, as we have a proxy Dark Shrine.
Oh yeah. So despite getting his Nexus down earlier, Nice is the one that's going to be putting the aggression on. Hero's just playing a very standard Blink style here. And yeah, Nice, as you were saying, going for the proxy Dark Shrine is going to be trying to put the pressure on Hero, trying to catch him unawares. And the Oracle's just going to be mostly doing some scouting here. Hero going into a third base as Nice is as well. So Nice is hiding what he's doing extremely well.
Yeah, exactly. He's kind of giving all these signs to Hero that, hey, no, this is a normal game. This is a standard game. There's nothing crazy going on here. Hero does have a robo on the way, and I believe he can potentially get his observer out on time. But whether it's going to be at home is going to be the big question, because that Dark Shrine is a couple of seconds away from completing.
Yeah, Hero's Hallucination Scout as well sees the third here, which is a bit of a, not a blessing in disguise, a curse in disguise. Let's go with that. And it could give him the wrong signals of what's going on.
It really could. It really could. Oh, as the hallucination comes in once again, confirms that, of course, Blink is on the way, but the first ETs are being warped in across the map as we speak. How many of them, though? I don't think there are too many, as Hero's actually pushing out across the map. Oh.
Yeah, and throwing down his own DT shrine. Hasn't made an observer yet. I was wondering if it was... Oh, he's supply blocked. The observer's supply blocked. And it's a prism. It's not an observer, it's a prism.
Yeah, it's a prism, but there's only one DT. I was a little bit disappointed.
And he's microing. He hasn't seen the DT yet.
He hasn't seen it, and here we go. Hero is diving on in. At the same time, probes are falling in the main base. He will react. He will lose 4 of them for the time being, and the observer is now being chronoed out as we speak.
Yeah, but here comes the second DT, and I was... Oh, nice force field. I was kind of thinking that Hero might have put this together by just how late the blink of Nice was, but it seems like he had no idea this was coming.
He had no idea. The Oracle comes in, does focus down the sentries, but the army has returned back home. But probes are still falling left and right here, and the Stalkers are taking advantage of all the chaos.
Yeah, they are. They're going to be dipping in, taking out their shield battery. Hero, he is playing fast, though. He immediately splits off the perfect amount of Stalkers, and he does eventually... Oh, I was going to say deal with the DT back at home. It's not dealt with yet.
Oh, exactly. There is a detection, though, and there we go. The DT will finally be cleaned up, but the Oracle is not done yet, and Hero, his economy, it's just really hurting right now. He's down almost 20 workers.
Yeah, loses another 13 probes there, and most importantly, the DT shrine is spotted, so Nice is going to be able to prepare for that.
Oh yeah, he will be able to prepare. He has a very hefty lead here, and sure, his blink was delayed, but blink, you know, he now has it available for his army. Hero's got a lot of catching up to do. As Nice, he's got +1 on the way, he's got charge on the way, he's got a gateway explosion, a robo as well. Like, he's ahead in so many regards.
Yeah, Nice calmly gets his gateway explosion going first, then chucks down a cannon in each base. So he is looking very comfortable in this game.
Yeah, I mean, he scouted the Dark Shrine of Hero earlier, so the DTs aren't going to be a surprise for him. Hero, he's going to have a hard time finding damage with them. And I appreciate this. Hero, his comeback mechanic is going to be disruptors.
Yeah, I mean, we see this time and time again in PvP. When a player gets behind, they try DTs. If DTs doesn't work, they try disruptors. If disruptors don't work, then you're really dead.
Nah, it always works. It's fine. But you're right, it's one or the other. I mean, you can also try to outposition in Stalker versus Stalker, but it's no longer that's no longer the case. You know, we have Zealots in the field, we have Immortals in the field as well. The armies are diversifying, as Nice is just getting every tech imaginable, even getting a Templar Archives for those Archons.
Yeah, the Archons are going to be very helpful against the Zealots of Hero if Hero does go more heavy into Zealots. But meanwhile, this is fantastic. Nice is hitting at the perfect timing here. He does, like, it's really important that he puts pressure on now, because that 2 robo production is going to kick in for Hero very soon.
Yeah, exactly. Before the Disruptors can really hit the field, we do see so many workers going to be going down. The Zealots going ham on the army as well. We have the overcharge, but the shield battery gets focused down as well, and Hero is struggling to survive.
Yeah, that he is. Another Zealot warp in is going to be charging on in. A lot of damage is being lost on the buildings, but the Stalkers have finally been trapped. Oh, that's very cute. Going to be blinking over to the high ground, but there's nothing he can do to save his third. GG is called, and the Taiwanese Protoss takes the game.
Oh, GG, as Hero quickly turns off that camera and gets the hell out of there, as Nice is making a series out of this. It does tie it up 1-1 against Hero, and does give his team a chance at redemption, a chance at that ace match, but it's going to be a tough one when I look at that next series. But regardless, really strong showing here out of Nice.
Yeah, that was a great game. Very, very solid game from Nice, and very clever build as well. He hit that so well. Just gave all the signals of a standard macro game, and even forced a Stalker in, or I think it was a little bit fortuitous that the Stalker were coming across for Hero, but he did come out and engage them as he sent the DTs in, just for extra distraction.
Yeah, exactly. Like, everything just made sense there from Nice. Just well orchestrated game from him, and with that, he does take a game off of arguably the best Protoss in the world. So again, very nicely done from our Taiwanese Protoss. But now the pressure is on the Chinese Protoss. It is on ReWhite, and he's going to be going up against Dark. Oh boy.
Yeah, the best hero in the world goes down to the best nice in the world.
Oh. There you go.
Now we have Dark vs ReWhite and images are coming to my mind, like images involving harnesses.
Oh.
Is ReWhite going to be Dark's plaything today?
Describe these images to me. What kind of positions are we talking about?
Oh no.
Oh god. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. You know, it is kind of well known amongst the StarCraft scene that Dark, he does love to tie people up, and he does love he does love to make use of that harness that he's got in the background. Are we gonna see it on full display? That is the question. Are we gonna see some cams? Do we want to see some cams? I mean, ReWhite, he's a good player, don't get us wrong, but he is one of the weaker links in a Starlight Twinkle. That's why we had to bring in Nice. That's why we had to bring in Spirit as well to really bolster the roster. But yeah, ReWhite, he's got quite a tough person in front of him. You know, he's got a lot to handle.
Yeah, he does point to his head, shows that he has the Aiden mentality.
Yeah.
He knows.
He knows that it's gonna be a tough one, Puffy. It's he's ready for it though. He's ready. Mentally, he's prepared. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Right, let me see.
He's been
Dark's
updated.
score not quite as high as Heroes.
Yeah, but these numbers have. I believe he's been upgraded. I think earlier he had more 8s actually, so he's almost like a full 9 all around. Jesus.
I mean, I think that's only fair. He hasn't been in his most tip-top form lately, but I mean, he's still Dark. He's still one of the top Zergs in the world.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, like, if Dark is losing to someone, it's usually like Hero or Beyond or Cure. You know, like people like you would expect a player of his caliber to lose to anyways. They like trade maps and trade series. So yeah, he hasn't been experiencing too many upsets. I know that we have had some nice performances by some Australian Protosses recently, but
Almost.
Almost. Yeah, true. But yeah, we'll see if ReWhite has something special in store for his opponent here, because again, there's quite a gap in player tier and player score even.
Yeah, certainly. And the thing that worries me a little bit about that is I feel like ReWhite doesn't go for anything incredibly wild. Although, I don't know. I feel like Dark wants wild. I don't even know what you're supposed to do to beat Dark. He's just such an unpredictable player. It's got to be so difficult coming up against him as a weaker player, because he's not gonna be predictable even versus a weaker player and play safe. He's just gonna do the crazy stuff he does. Exactly.
I remember casting him before against like an amateur player, and like Dark, he just opened up with like a Link Queen Nidus Solid. Yeah. And I'm like, oh my god, like he's not holding back, Poppy. It's crazy, you know.
I remember that. That was I can't remember his name, but it was a Terran, and the Terran stayed in until he lost like every single SCV.
He did. He really that was like in an ESL Asia or Americas or something, like an early round. Yeah, it's one of those things with Dark, it doesn't matter, like you could be, you know, it's your first time stepping into the ring, you know, your what's it called, your ears are wet, your feet are green, wet behind the ears, that's it. And Dark, he will jump on you. He won't care. My god, it's crazy.
He likes it.
He likes it, Puppy. He likes it. The bell rings, and we're like, ah! As the Dark just rushes him, mate. Oh my god. Yeah. It's something that, it's something special about Dark. We like it though. You know, it's who he is.
It's a fact now. He can't get away from it.
It is. Oh my god, as we're just kind of waiting here for the players to prepare themselves to get ready for this matchup. You know, maybe some technical issues, maybe they're just, I say that, I imagine in my mind they're getting the cameras ready, but Dark needs a moment because he's actually just like trying to clear out his room. The rumors have been spreading. Yeah.
He's like just taking another look from the view of the camera. It's like, any leather? No, I think we're good. As spawning here in the top left-hand corner of Grass Farm, this is ReWhite.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have Dark. And there we go. Dark, he was just able to get that green screen up in time to hide that background. Oh, it was close, though. It was close.
Yeah, meanwhile, ReWhite's got the side-on view in the dark.
Yeah. I can't remember if I was with you or maybe with Kuro at the time, but last time we casted ReWhite, it's like we have like a voyeur cam. We're like looking from like outside his window, you know. But it's like a movie, you know. It's like a noir movie where he's like, you know, he's like an investigative like journalist, you know, like typing away in the middle of the night. It's like he's lit by only the screen of the monitor. It's very cinematic.
There were long nights and longer harnesses.
is he writing?
I remember the things that Dark did to me for the rest of my life. Can't repeat them here, but I'll have you know that they changed me as a man, as a StarCraft player.
I can no longer walk straight. Oh god. He's just writing about his traumatic experience. I mean, maybe we're getting ahead of ourselves, you know. Maybe he's gonna be writing about what he does to Dark, you know. Maybe the turns will table and suddenly
these Zerg players, they thought they run this town, but they forgot one thing. I will never let the darkness not be ReWhited.
I appreciate the effort on that one. Oh god. And yeah, we'll see if he can pull it off, mate. As initially pretty standard openers all around. ReWhite was unable to deny the natural of Dark. He's able to take his expansion where he needs it to be, and we see Dark even fanning out his lings, looking for said probe, trying to hunt it down.
Yeah, sends his lings everywhere. I mean, Dark's just the kind of attention to detail that he has with his multitask is kind of absurd. Like, I feel like not many Zergs do things like this.
Yeah, the attention to detail, you know, he's not just your average ape poppy, you know, there's some finer finesse at play that's, you know, only the most keen eyes will catch wind of.
Oh. Probe has gone to the wrong neighborhood, but looks like Dark going to be respecting the fact that the Adept could be coming across the map here. ReWhite's not doing so. He's going for an Adept into a Stalker, despite going Stargate, which is something that we see a lot of Korean players doing as well, just to hide the fact that they go Stargate, but looks like Dark's got his Overlord timing down really well to avoid any problems with that.
Yeah, he dips in with the Overlord. He confirms not just the Stargate, but he sees the first unit coming out, so he knows it is going to be an Oracle, so all has been revealed. Dark knows what his opponent is doing, and now he's getting ready for his own play as well. So far, nothing too crazy, just making a surge of lings, but that's really just designed to pressure the third base, maybe even get a little bit of damage done on the Adept and Pylon if things get out of hand.
Yeah, Dark just looking to be active, looking to keep some units back home for ReWhite. We see the Overlord is going to be just baiting those units out, but I think for now, Dark's just trying to keep tabs on what's going on, and if he can keep the units home, of course, that's really helpful.
Yeah, I think Dark, he wants to have a little bit of fun here. The Stalker is very out of position. There we go, the Lings, they do dive on forward, and they're looking for the surround.
Yeah, they're going to get that Stalker, and if you go down to the Oracle, but I don't think Dark really cares that much. He did lose that Overlord at a pretty inopportune time, though, so he's going to be slightly supply blocked, and yeah, okay. We're seeing a Roach Warren going down despite the fact that he knows it's Stargate. So I don't know if this is more just because he wants to play Roaches or because he's respecting the possibility of an Adept all-in off this, which has been very popular lately.
That's a good question. I mean, this is an early Roach Warren for a Stargate opener. You're not wrong about that. So we'll see if Dark does intend to use it or if he is just concerned about that Glaive Adept follow-up that you were talking about, which we may be seeing, by the way, because ReWhite, he goes for a Twilight Council, but okay, there we go. We do have a Forge behind it. Was just a little bit delayed, but is still on the way, so it should be for Blink.
Yeah, okay, so it's going to be Blink. Pretty standard style these days, and This is what I was saying. I think ReWhite does usually tend to play a little bit more on the standard side. I mean, a lot of the Chinese players, they are very aggressive, but they're also very standard in their openings. And a lot of the time, more reliant on their mechanics to gain an advantage. If I think about players like Oliveira, like Cyan, these are players that are very aggressive, but quite standard in their build choices.
Yeah, exactly. There's nothing too crazy about how they want to play. They just want to be solid in their own styles, and we'll see how that can shape up here because, oh, it looks like Dark is going to be a little bit cheeky himself. He's actually going to be rushing into a Spire, something that we don't see too often, but he believes that he can get away with it.
Yeah, Spire is really interesting in this matchup just because it can be countered by Blink Stalkers if you get into high enough numbers, but if it just hits at the perfect time, it kills probes so quickly.
Oh yeah, it can do so much damage. It can snowball out of control, and even though ReWhite has 3 oracles on the map, he has not scouted the main base. He hasn't confirmed the tech of his opponent. He's more concerned with just being active on the map and just, you know, doing whatever economic damage he can get done. But it is very crucial that he scouts that Spire because for the time being, he's in the dark.
Aha.
Oh.
As yeah, Dark going to be doing his best just to push these oracles back. The oracles haven't been able to get too much scouting or too much damage. They are going to be tagging some of these lava, so he will see the mutas come out.
Yeah, unfortunately he doesn't see the Spire, but as you were saying, he will get eyes on the mutas. Hopefully he's looking at the time. Hopefully he's paying attention to that as he's getting into Disruptor production. Again, still no Phoenixes, still no big reaction from him as the mutas are hitting the field, and I don't think he knows.
Oh, and he was going for Robo as well, so this is perfect for Dark.
It really is. There's no shield batteries, no cannons, no warping of stalkers either, as ReWhite is working on his 4th base, and now the mutas do hit the field there, now in the main base, and we do see every single probe is forced out.
This muta skin is terrifying as well. It always looks like there's like twice as many mutas as there actually are.
Yeah, the thorns, the horns, they do add to it. Oh, the Artosis pylon goes down. The gateways are depowered. That means we have even less stalkers that can react to this as 13 probes are fallen in the blink of an eye. Oh my god.
What was it that Artosis started calling Artosis pylons? Oh no, I called them in control pylons because he was trying to. It was a big copium. He wanted to put it on another player.
Yeah, he was like, it was during I think it was during the pylon show where he was like, you know what? Why do you keep calling it Artosis pylon? Okay, why not something else? Why not an in control pylon? Everyone was like, okay, you can try.
It's so funny. It's so cope is like, I'm gonna change it. Everyone's gonna start referring it as to an in control pylon now.
It's like, mate. What are you doing right now? This was before the term cope was a thing, so it wasn't quite that at the time. But looking back on it, it was pure copium. Yeah.
Artosis was well on top of the term early.
Yeah. He was ahead of the
meta. He's
meta
coped a couple times before in his life.
He has. Oh my god, as the mutas are getting out of control, dancing between the bases, 11 more workers go down, and the stalkers are having a hard time keeping up. No Phoenix to hit the field either, and my god, I mean, he finds another base.
Yeah, I don't know if you caught that, but when they showed the trades, Dark lost 1 muta. He's gotten all this done, even with stalkers blinking under. I think he took out 2 stalkers when the stalkers blinked under his mutas, and he only lost 1 muta. Like, even when all of the blink stalkers dived under him, he's taking good trades, and he's just going to fight the stalkers. Yeah,
he can just go head to head with these stalkers. He has +1 air attack. He doesn't give a damn about your stalkers. The links, the wall is not a wall. The links, they flood into the Nash. Well, they flood into the main base as well. GG gets called, and Dark will take game number 1.
Yeah, gee, Dark is just Zerg personified, the unending flood, and ReWhite just got completely taken over, just piece by piece.
Dark is the Swarm. At least he is the aggressive side of the Swarm incarnate, and we see that here and now against ReWhite. Very rarely do you get to see mass muta in ZVP, just because if it does get scattered, it's really difficult to snowball, and it's much more difficult to really get underway. But as we saw, ReWhite didn't see it at all. He wasn't prepared at all, and the mutas just got out of hand.
Yeah, and I mean, it's unfortunate for ReWhite that he was going for Colossus tech rather than for Storm or for Archons or something like that. Yeah. And I mean, potentially Dark knew that. He might have done his research into how ReWhite plays, or he might have played him on ladder enough to know that he has that tendency. But yeah, here with ReWhite picking Ancient Cistern, I think he's going to have to mix things up a bit. Unfortunately, DKZ already takes the set 4-1.
Yeah, with that, congratulations to CranKy Gaming. As you just mentioned, it does mean that they will take the series in the end, but we do have a chance here for ReWhite to fight back, to turn the tables, even though he had a rough game one. You know, maybe he did see the mutas. Maybe it's all part of the plan.
What?
Oh, it's for the team GP maneuver, Papi. Obviously, you want game
Clinched
one.
the 4-2.
Yeah, yeah, boy, let's go, Papi. Let's go. Oh god, it's possible that ReWhite just wants to maybe lure Dark in. This wouldn't be a bad map for mutas either, depending on how things go. But we'll see us spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Ancient Sister, and for Starlight Twinkle, it is ReWhite.
There in the top right-hand corner of the map for DKZ, this is Dark. These are ReWhite's just playing for the Oligulac points.
Yeah, and the WTL points, to be fair.
True.
There you go. Do you think if ReWhite wins a game here, Dark, he's gonna like lose like defense points or something? Do you...
Yeah, it could be. I mean, if Dark instantly loses, then he loses offense points, right?
It's true. It's true. Look, I don't know. I feel like the WTL organizers are very fickle people. Like, I feel like when it comes to those scores, like they're willing to punish you if you have a bad performance. So, you know, ReWhite, he's fighting for more than just some of his own points. He's fighting for Dark's points.
Yeah, true. Actually, I didn't think about it that way.
As we are getting into this hatch gas pool around standard stuff from both of our players. But yeah, have you been, Asher? Have you been this lovely weekend? You were able to ladder, you're able to stream as well. What brought that on? What brought on the ladder stream?
Well, let's gonna play StarCraft anyway. But I might as well stream it. I don't know. I think I'm just a little bit stressed out, a little bit less stressed out than usual about StarCraft at the moment. So I didn't really mind doing my full session on stream.
Well, let's go. Initially, I was like, "Wait, what?" You're like, I was stressed out. So
I was stressed, and so I had to stream StarCraft too. Yeah.
That's good to hear, Papi. That's good. Definitely good to hear. Good to hear. Hope you had a good time. If anyone in the chat wants to check out Asher's stream, where he's gonna ladder Terran, maybe Protoss, maybe some replay analysis, maybe some point-and-click adventure games, then follow him, AsherBro on Twitch.
Beautiful. It's gonna be Diablo next.
Oh, true, Papi. We have to Diablo together, Papi. Together.
Might have to be Wednesday, but
yeah. I don't mind.
I'll probably be casting anyway.
And in between casts, Papi, we can play some Diablo.
I don't know.
Let's see. Hold on. Wednesday. Wednesday is KFC Kung Fu Cup. So before Kung Fu Cup. Yeah.
Okay.
And after Kung Fu Cup. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. We can pull an all-nighter.
Yeah. We'll order some KFC.
No. I won't be able to play. I can't play on the floor.
What do you mean? You said that you just order like a cheeky popcorn chicken or something, like some tendies, you know, like something light.
Crazy.
Oh.
As
with some wicked wings.
Why do you want me to eat KFC so much?
Because it's KFC night. It's the rule. I don't make up the rules, Asher. Okay, I just abide.
Rules are the rules. As we see some very conservative play coming out from ReWhite. He is keeping everything at home. He is very worried about what Dark's up to. Doesn't want to send the adepts across the map.
This is some classic, post-traumatic Dark Dark influence right here, where even the adepts stayed at home as well. We can see that ReWhite is like hyper paranoid about losing any units, about even getting his store base up and running, and as a result, Dark has full map control. And as is pointed out, Dark is going for a very fast lair. Call it, Asher. Is it going to be for Overlord drops? Is it going to be for a Nidus even?
Forgot about Overlord drops. It seems a little bit on the late side for a Link Queen Nidus, actually.
You're not wrong, but no additional gases have been taken. We still only have one gas. We're making more queens, we're making more lings, mate. It's got to be Ling Queen Nidus, right?
Yeah, I assume so. I mean, the thing is, as much as I say that the lair normally is faster, it is dark, so you might just be doing it inefficiently because
Yeah.
it's just dark things.
Yeah. Yeah, this, you're never doing it inefficiently, because if it's inefficient, then it's efficient, because then your opponent does. Yeah, it's a mind game, Bobby. Mind game. There's Nidus.
Yeah, there we go. And he does like it on this map as well. You can see that the dead space isn't covered. And because that dead space as well is so big, often you can have an overlord there without it getting spotted.
100%, 100%. And it's really interesting how the kind of playstyle of Dark has evolved. I think for a long time, I would say that like the go-to build for Dark would be like roach heavy play in like every matchup. But nowadays, like he Niduses against Protoss and Terran whenever he can. Like it's his thing. Ling Queen Nidus, like let's go, Poppy. And a lot of lings are going to be going down, but they're just distracting ReWhite.
So smart. Distracting him and also taking out the Oracle energy and keeping the Oracles there. 2 Oracles, I think 2 or 3 Oracles would be able to DPS down this, but ReWhite has no idea this is happening. Dark's just hit it perfectly, which he always does.
Yeah, and there we go. The Nidus is done. Creeper's being spread. We have the leapfrog of the Nidus as well to keep on that spree, to keep spreading that creep. The lings, they dive on in, and the production is under threat. At the same time, the third base gets hit.
This is so nasty. It's so late. Like, it's so well hidden.
Yeah, we have so many resources being invested in production, in +1, in Blink, and none of this is going to finish. The main base is completely forfeit. The third base, once again, is under threat, and ReWhite is being pulled apart.
Yeah, he really is. This main base, everything's going to be going down. The gateways, the Forge, the Twilight. I mean, even if ReWhite somehow managed to stabilize his 2 bases, he's going to have to start from scratch, basically.
Exactly. The tech has been reset. As you say that, backup Twilight Council has been thrown down. So he's intending to, Poppy. He's like, okay, I'll start from the beginning. Let's go. But can he survive that long? Because the lings, they just don't stop.
You see how many tumors Dark threw down?
Oh, yeah.
This has got to be trolling. There's no way that that's actually helpful here.
He was backed up, Poppy. He had to unleash all over the main.
Is he gonna write something?
I think we've had that before. The Oracles are
no. All 3 go down.
Do you think that says something? Is that like a Hangul character, do you think?
I don't know. Maybe it's just ReWhite might not even have the DPS to clean this up in one revelation.
It's very possible. It's very possible. As from here, Dark, he backs off. He's fully saturated on his 3 bases, getting his 4th up and running. We have a Roach Horn. We have a Lair. We have a Lair. We have Roach Speed on the way, and Dark is just getting ready for that finishing touches on this push, which will be the Roach follow.
Why is he doing this with their creep? That's so funny. That's so many zoomers. Oh, and he still doesn't know about the other night. Disaster.
He doesn't know, Pop. He doesn't know. I mean, at this point, there's no retaking it. I like this ReWhite. He's like, you know what? I'm not going to retake my main. I'll just take a 4th base or a different 3rd base here at this point. As we just keep spreading creep.
It's so wild watching Dark's lings as well. These spotter lings, it's like every single one of them has a mind of its own.
Yeah. There is no hive mind. They all are individual in their own mindsets, and it's just how Dark does roll. This is so unnecessary. Why do we have another Nidus in the main?
This is trolling. Like ReWhite should probably leave, but I mean we've had this happen before. Hopefully Dark doesn't go to the late game and mass Brute Lords, or we might have some. Well, I guess it's the last game, but
true.
We might have Maru BMing ReWhite's teammate.
Oh no!
It's gonna be onside versus Starlight Twinkle, and Maru's gonna be like muling ReWhite.
Oh my god, this is
such
bullies.
Dark.
The GG gets called. And Dark will take the series 2-0 with a very crisp, a little bit of a later Ling Queen Nidus all in, but effective nonetheless, as Dark does clean it up here for his team, for DKZ.
GG. Dark almost yawning in the camera there.
It's better than yesterday. I know you were casting yesterday, but we were covering Onside series versus Berserker. Sorry, not Berserker Esports. Versus Platinum Heroes, and Ryung was eating in the middle of his game.
What a chat.
He was dominating. By the way, he was looking really good yesterday.